Hi everyone, this is Lynette from DALS Credit Solutions, and I want to talk to everyone today. This is Credit Tip Tuesday, and I want to give some feedback. A lot of people try to make them understand the difference between bankruptcy and credit restoration, excuse me. So it's Credit Tip Tuesday. It's 12 noon. What time is it? Actually, it's like 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to give some people some time to log on. Credit Tip Tuesday, we will discuss, bankruptcy versus credit restoration. It's a lot of, I see a lot of comments within the group saying, bankruptcy is better, credit restoration is better. It honestly depends on the person's circumstances. And a lot of people get that confused and try to badger one another. However, they are both beneficial, depends on the nature of your circumstances. So I'll give people time to come on to see we can have a discussion on, again, bankruptcy versus credit restoration. It's probably, what time is it? So again, this is Credit Tip Tuesday. My name is Lynette from DALS Credit Solutions. And I want to discuss the difference between a bankruptcy versus credit restoration. A lot of people badger both and say the one is better than the other, but quite frankly, it's more so individualized. If a person is going through serious turmoil, like houses going to get foreclosed or, garnishes and things like that, credit restoration will not stop this process. However, bankruptcy will. I don't promote bankruptcy. However, I'm not going to decline it either. If a person come to me and say, hey, my house is about to be foreclosed. I'm $10,000 behind in my mortgage. Can you help me? My answer is no, because I don't believe in giving out false hope. And I also don't want to, misrepresent information that I have or mislead my clients. If a person is in the process of going through foreclosures, tax liens, garnishments, credit restoration is not going to help you at that time. If they're planning on going through this process, it is best to file bankruptcy. What type of bankruptcy you want to file, that's not, my scope of practice. I am knowledgeable of it, but people, again, they feel as though bankruptcy is a bad choice. Some people can't help it. They have to file bankruptcy. Bankruptcy can stop collection calls. Bankruptcy stops liens, garnishments, foreclosures, repossessions. Credit restoration does not do that. I am in the credit restoration business, and I own and operate out of Pennsylvania. If a person came to me within a foreclosure status, it's pending. I'm not going to tell you that I can help you, because that's false. That's misleading. If a bank is about to take your home and you don't have any other option, you should file bankruptcy. Anybody want to disagree with me, I'm here for, the conversation. But if you're in the process, if you just collected a lot of bad debt and you need some sort of assistance and you're not facing foreclosure, tax liens, any type of garnishments, then yes, you should do some sort of credit restoration. When you go look for a person to do credit restoration, please, I tell people to do your homework. It's a lot of credit repair companies out here. Kudos to you if you're practicing honestly. Make sure the person understand the laws. Make sure the person understand your needs. Make sure the person is doing consultations with you to give you updates. Ensure that person, go on their business page, go on Google, go on, look at friends of friends and see if this person is actually credible. Excuse me. Because a lot of times, the industry being so tainted with a lot of misleading, verbiage and things of that nature, people are losing trust within the industry. I think when someone that does credit restoration, they should know the laws. They should always know the laws. They should dispute and apply the facts while, building someone's credit profile. If you're one to, you want to go get your credit restored, stay away from people that do credit sweeps. And credit sweeps are something that they want you to go to the police station and file a report. It's false, it's misleading, and it could get you in trouble. Unauthorized trade lines. Don't ever give your social security number to no one to put your information underneath for someone's credit card information, credit card account. It can destroy you and that person. Because, for example, Capital One can find out something and they know you're using someone as an authorized user that close your account. Your score's compromised. The person that's underneath of your account as an authorized user, their score can become compromised. Also, never deal with anybody that talks about credit privacy numbers. They're CPNs. You can go to jail for that, and you can pay a lot of money, and it can destroy your credit. And with CPNs, you cannot file bankruptcy to get rid of the debt. So again, bankruptcy versus credit restoration is two different, areas of finances. However, if someone's experiencing foreclosure, experiencing tax liens, garnishments, credit repair cannot fix that. I repeat, credit repair cannot fix when somebody's about to have garnishments, anything of that factor. Credit repair is not going to fix that. But again, if you have derogatory remarks and things like that on your credit and you're not experiencing foreclosures or experiencing, tax liens or garnishments, then yes, credit restoration is the way to go. Again, my name is Lynette. I'm from DALS Credit Solutions. If you have any questions, please give me a call at 717-379-2504. Again, bankruptcy and credit restoration, yes, they both work. People do have lives after bankruptcy. It all depends on which bankruptcy you choose and how you go about living your life financially after the bankruptcy. People get credit card offers, people get auto loans. I've seen it. Thank y'all. I've seen it. They live well. So I'm not opposed to bankruptcy. I'm not a fan of it. But again, if you're experiencing higher difficulties as far as finances and they're trying to take your home and stuff like that, then yes, go file bankruptcy. Don't listen to what people saying you shouldn't have done that. Hey, every circumstance is different. Credit restoration, again, do your homework, guys. Make sure you look at the person's profile. Make sure you look at what they do. Look at their reviews, things of that nature. While we're on, thank you, Crystal. Do anybody have any questions about credit repair? Any type of credit questions? It's free. You don't have to pay. I'll answer. Please shoot. I don't care if you got something on your report. I would love to talk to you about it while I'm on the live. Student loans, evictions, credit cards, late payments, how you dispute something if you're doing it yourself. I will be gladly to answer the question. I'm believing in sowing into my business, not selling my business. So, evictions. Tell me what do you need to know about evictions? Tell me something about an eviction. What is your question? And I'll tell you how to go about doing it. So when you ask your question, if you want to know about how to get evictions removed, I will give detailed processes how to do it. Tuesdays are the days you can get information out of me for absolutely free. I'll go on a live, you ask the question, I'll answer it in detail. So I tell people, when you watch my lives, please take notes, because once the live is over, I'm a nice person. You can call me and ask me, and I probably will answer it for you. But Miss Rowland, ask me a question about the eviction. You want to know how the eviction gets off of your credit. Excuse me. It depends on which state you're in. I tell people, if an eviction occur, okay, you've had eviction for over 5 years and it's still on, but it's an actual move out. So if it's an actual move out, it's not an eviction because you and the landlord equally accept the fact you're moving out and you're breaking the lease. Now, if you went to court, that's something different. So what I would do is if you can retract any paperwork or any type of communication between you and the landlord and submit that through the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Now, if it's compromising your credit, which clearly you're saying it is, go to the Equal Housing Opportunity Act and submit. You have all the documents. So this is what you do. You submit far as the credit reporting that is shown on your credit report as an eviction. Follow through the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Submit it for under credit reporting and submit it how you try to make contact regarding your concern. Then go to a federal site called the Equal Housing Opportunity Act, somewhere in that nature. Pull up that site and file a complaint on there because you want to file it under they're tarnishing your credit. So you're losing your credit worthiness along with depletion of score. You also want to talk about how you were unable to establish credit due to it compromising your score. So I will use those two sites. Do not submit that to the credit bureaus. Do not submit it to the credit bureaus. When people dispute to the credit bureaus, it makes no sense to me. Sorry, everybody. I hate to be that candid. But when you have something on your credit report, never dispute it to the credit bureaus because the credit bureaus are nobody but the bottom feeders. And all they're going to do is send a message out to the eOscar system. They're going to verify you. They're going to send it back to the credit bureaus. The credit bureau sends something back to you saying it's verified. So they use all electronic measures. I don't care if you send a letter certified to the credit bureaus. The processes are the same. You always fight federal with federal. You always fight credit with the monsters. You always fight. It takes a village to rebirth and restore someone's credit. You should never send late payments on your credit report to the credit bureaus. Makes no sense. It doesn't matter if you send it certified. The process is still the same. Never send any letters to the credit bureaus. Never, never, never. You fight with the feds. So for Tiara's question, she said how to fight an eviction. You send it through the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Then you go on the Equal Housing Opportunity Act and file a complaint there. It puts about 2 to 3 sets of hands on the actual complaint you have. If you send it through the credit bureaus ain't gonna do nothing but send a signal out and it comes back as verified. It does no work for you. So if anybody is doing their credit, never send anything to the credit bureaus. I'll argue all day about it because I know the laws. It's a waste of paper and it's a waste of time. And it's a waste of a stamp and certified mail. Depends on what state you're in. Anytime you got credit card payments, anytime you have late payments, especially with, credit cards, housing, things like that, you fight fire with fire. You go to the feds with it. Don't do it no other way. Doesn't make sense. When you educate yourself on the laws, you know which direction to go. So Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian are considered the bottom feeders. So I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. I'm gonna bypass the bankruptcies. When you're not wanting to pay someone to do your credit, kudos to you because it's more beneficial if you do it yourself. I tell people this all the time. I'm into not selling my business. Look at your reports. If you have issues with credit cards, you go to the Federal Reserve Board. You dispute there because they govern how the credit card companies submit late payments and everything to the credit bureaus. If you have issues with a foreclosure or a short sale or any type of negative housing reports, you go to the Fair Housing Act, dispute it there. If you have issues with a national credit union that holds your credit cards and they're out of compliance, you go to the, it's called the credit union. Let me look it up real quick. I have this site here. The National Credit Union Association. I think that's what it is. National Credit Union Association. Dispute it there. If you have issues with repossessions, never send your information to the credit bureaus. You find out the state you're in. You find out where the finance company is at. You ask, do they have a right to collect payment from you because they're not operating within your state? You also make sure that the sale was not an unfair sales practice sale, meaning your rights were violated. The credit bureaus have nothing to do with credit disputing. So when I see people on here that says send your information to the credit bureaus, it makes no sense to do that. You got to fight fire with fire. You got to fight feds with feds. So when you get results, it comes off of all the main credit bureaus, LexisNexis, CoreLogic. Then it comes off of Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. The best way to dispute your credit is to know the laws. Period, point blank. Student loans. A lot of people ask me about student loans. Student loans, no one should ever in their life say, I can remove your student loans. No, you cannot. You can have them no longer reflect your credit report to decrease your debt to income ratio, but you still owe the debt. That's misleading. That's confusing, and it's disturbing. You should never say you can remove your student loans. You can no longer reflect student loans. The only way you can remove a student loan permanently off your record, if the school you attended while you were attending had accreditation issues. That's the only way you're going to get your student loans off your debt. The school itself must have been going through an accreditation process that was fraudulent. This is how you get student loans off. Guys, again, when you go to get your credit restored from a company, please do your homework. Please make sure the person that's doing your credit understand the dynamics of the Fair Isaac company, which is FICO, the mathematical sequence that makes up FICO. Make sure they understand what credit payment history is, credit utilization, credit age, and overall credit. Make sure they're not sending a bunch of letters that's generated offline that the credit bureau send out to set you up for failure. Make sure that they know what they're doing. Because if you pay somebody and they render their service and they're not compliant, you lose trust. And that's what happens to this industry. A lot of people lose trust because people put out fast messages for fast results. And credit repair is not a fast process. It's a growing and restoring process. That's the difference. So if you have any questions, please feel free to, submit them while I'm on a live, or, give me a call, 717-379-2504. Again, I do have a mentoring program as well that I'm very proud of, that I've mentored women to begin their credit restoration business. We tackle the laws. Each person is individualized. It's not about the fast letter and sending to the credit bureaus. It's not about software. It's not about none of that. I'm not trying to say anything bad about any other company. I'm just telling you what I practice. So I have a mentoring program. It runs for life because credit changes daily. So again, if you have any questions, concerns, please give me a call, 717-379. You have paid off accounts, but it's still on my credit. Any account that's in collections, before you decide to pay it off, you should ask a pay to delete letter. A lot of people use the standard pay to delete letters offline. They're generated by the credit bureaus. So I will look at your situation and I will say, okay, I paid this amount during this amount. And if you had any financial hardship, talk about that during your pay to delete within your pay to delete letter. If you don't ask for a pay to delete letter once you paid the debt, they can continue to tarnish your debt, and it's not really going to do anything regarding your score. So it will look at as a paid debt, but it's still, the word debt still stays there. So it's paid. It's still not going to do anything for your credit. So if you paid off collections, you have to make sure prior to paying that they give you something in writing saying once paid, they will remove it. Excuse me. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Please feel free to speak. If you're a credit repair company and you want to brainstorm together on how we do things, that's fine too. I'm open to stuff like that. But again, if you have any questions, give me a call, 717-379-2504. My name is Lynette, owner and operator of DALS Credit Solutions. Today's topic was bankruptcy versus bankruptcy versus credit repair. And again, I spoke about it earlier. If you haven't seen it, please listen to the live replay, share, do whatever you need. Again, all those that are building their own credit and not paying someone to do it, kudos to you. Very proud of you. The more you do things yourself, the better you learn, the better you build, and the better you learn and understand financially. I'm all for it. God knows I am. Those that want to pay someone to restore their credit because they don't have time, please make sure you do your homework. Please, Jesus, please, please, please. I see people all the time getting ripped off. It saddens my heart. The verbiage is misleading. The verbiage is disturbing. The verbiage is scary. So please do your homework. Look at the persons that's doing your credit. Look at their reviews. Look at how people interact with them. Make sure you're going to have communication throughout your process. Never, ever, ever, ever render a service from someone and you don't hear nothing back from them. Never go under someone as an authorized user and you don't have a clue who they are. It can destroy you and them, and people feel as though they can. Don't do anything called what do you call that? I can't think of. Sorry. Credit sweeps. Please don't do a credit sweep. It's a mess. Don't do it. Do not do it. And don't do anything called CPNs. CPNs are illegal. Feds will get you, and you will do time. So, credit restoration is knowledge based, not computer generated. Again, if you have any questions, give me a call. This is Credit Tip Tuesday. My name is Lynette. God bless y'all. Thank you for always tuning in. I hate going live because I'm kind of scared, but again, credit restoration is knowledge based. Hi, cousin Nitra. Okay, I'll stay on here a little longer. My cousin just came on here. So, cousin, I was talking about bankruptcy versus credit restoration. You can replay it and watch it as well. But again, guys, make sure you do your homework. If you pay somebody, if you're facing critical times, far as your house is about to be foreclosed and tax lien and garnishment, bankruptcy is the only way to go. Credit repair is not going to save you for this. So if you have to file bankruptcy, file it. People do have life after bankruptcy. People always say they don't. They do. It's how you deal with your finances for you to have a life after bankruptcy. People in my family filed bankruptcy and they have an excellent credit score. So people should not never say, oh, don't file bankruptcy. People's situation is different. So please, please, please do not bash someone because everybody is different of what they're going through. I love you too. Everybody have a blessed day. Again, if you have any questions, concerns, please do not hesitate to make contact. God bless y'all. Stay warm. Again, this is Lynette signing off from DALS Credit Solutions. Have a good day.